In this video, we're going to be taking a look at multiplying money. Now, the essential question that's on page 177 of your Go Math book is, how can the strategy draw a diagram help you solve a decimal multiplication problem? Now, you will need your Go Math book out, a pencil, and your math journal. So let's turn to page 177 and let's unlock this problem. So we can see a group of friends go to a local fair. Jason spends $3.75. Maya spends 3 times as much as Jason. Tia spends $5.25 more than Maya. How much does Tia spend? Now we're going to use the graphic organizer below to help us solve the problem. Now, we always need to think about, with problem-solving problems, we need to first of all figure out what you need to find. So ask yourself, what do I need to find? And we can see we need to find the amount of time Tia spent at the fair. Where do we see that? We can see right here in our question, how much does Tia spend? Okay, I said the amount of time, the amount of money Tia spent at the fair. Now, what information are we going to use? We need to figure out the amount spent by Jason. We need to use that. We need to find the amount spent by Maya and Tia at the fair. So we know what we need to find. We know what information is going to be used. Now we need to answer the question of how you're going to use the information. I want you to write this down in your Go Math book as well. You can draw a diagram to show the amount Jason and Maya spend to find the amount spent by Tia. So let's go to that solve the problem section. Alright, now we can see that the amount of money Maya and Tia spend depends on the amount Jason spends. So it says draw a diagram to compare the amounts without calculating, then use the diagram to find the amount each person spends. Now we have our diagram set up, and it says that a group of friends go to a local fair. Jason spends $3.75. So we have a box. We have Jason. We have that box, $3.75 right here labeled. Okay, and now we know that Maya spends 3 times as much as Jason. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to do 3 boxes for Maya. Why 3 boxes? It's 3 times as much as Jason. What are we going to fill in each box? We're going to fill in $3.75. Where do we get that from? Because that's how much Jason spends, and remember, Maya spends 3 times as much. Okay, so in each box, we're going to put $3.75 there. Okay, now Tia spends $5.25 more than Maya. Now, what we need to figure out, first of all, how much does Maya spend? Okay, so we see that 3 times as much as Jason, so Tia spends that 3 times as much. And on top of that 3 times as much, it's $5.25. Okay, where do we get that from? Tia spends $5.25 more than Maya. Okay, so Jason spends, you can see on calculating it here, Jason spends $3.75. Let me make this a little bit smaller here. Maya, 3 times $3.75. Okay, which equals, so 375 plus 375 plus 375 is going to give me $11.25. So that's how much Maya spends. That does not answer our question, though. Even though we love Maya, we don't really necessarily care what she spends, other than the fact that it helps us figure out how much Tia spends. So Tia, what we do is we take that total from Maya, which is this 375. You can see it's represented here within our diagram, and it's also represented here within our diagram. So 1125 plus 525 is going to give us 1650. $16.50. So we can see Tia spent, and I'll just drag it up here, $16.50 at the fair. Okay, let's look at that problem on page 178 of your Go Math book. It says Julie's savings account has a balance of $57.85 in January. By March, her balance is 4 times as much as her January balance. Between March and November, Julie deposits a total of $78.45. If she does not withdraw any money from her account, what should Julie's balance be in November? So we're going to answer some of these problems here. First of all, what do I need to find? And let's write that in your Go Math book. I need to find Julie's bank account balance in November. Okay, where am I getting that from? Oftentimes of what I need to find, that's going to be that final question. Helps you just focus in on that. Now, what information are we going to need to use? So we know what we need to find. What information do we need? We need to use the balance of Julie's bank account in January. Okay, so we know that, $57.85. And what I know about her bank account in March to find November's balance. Okay, so in March we know that her balance is 4 times as much as her January balance. Okay, kind of went over that there. Let me do that again so I can even highlight this here. So by March, her balance is 4 times as much as her January balance. Okay, so we know that. Now, how are we going to use this information? What we're going to do, we're going to draw a diagram just like we did on the previous problem to show the balance in January, and then use it to show the balance in March and also November. So I want you to write all of this in your Go Math book on page 178, and then we'll look at solving the problem together. Okay, so what I have done, I've labeled these JMN, stands for January, March, and November. Okay, what do we know? We know that in January there was an account balance of $57.85. So we're going to bring a box over here. I want you to draw a box, and inside that box we're going to write $57.85. I need to make my ink smaller here. So $57.85. Okay, now in March, what we have here, her balance is 4 times as much as her January balance. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to draw boxes. Those are a little small for me. I'm going to draw 4 boxes. Why 4 boxes? Because it's 4 times as much as her January balance. And inside each box, I'm going to write $57.85. And I want you to do the same in your Go Math. Okay, so now we have between March and November, Julie deposits a total of $78.45. If she does not withdraw any money from her account, what should Julie's balance be in November? So what we need to do, we still need to draw 4 boxes for November. 1, 2, 3, 4. And within each of those boxes, we're going to have $57.85, and we need a 5th box. And in that 5th box, we're going to have $78.45. So let's write this in each of your boxes now. Okay, now we can see November. Remember, we still had the money from March, and then we had added additional $78.45. Now, to write this out, we can see January $57.85. March, what we do is we can multiply that $57.85 times 4. Okay, so for the month of March, we know, and I want you to write this down in your Go Math book, $57.85 times 4 is $231.40. And now we take that 231, and what we need to do for November, we need to add that $78.45. Why that $78.45? Because that's what was deposited in the month of November. Okay, so $231.40 plus $78.45 is going to give us a grand total of $309.85. So that answers our question. So Julie's savings account balance will be $309.85 in November. Okay, I want you to complete the problem on page 179 all by yourself. I do want you to draw a diagram in your Go Math book, and I want you to follow these steps, and when you're finished you can press play. I will have the answer for you. So I want you to pause the video. Remember, draw that diagram. So pause the video now. Okay, we have the answer of $126.50. You can see my model and how I came up with everything, and make sure that yours looks similar to mine. Okay, I want you to work through this problem on page 179, and when you're finished you can press play and I will have the answer for you. So pause the video now. Okay, we have the answer of $108.82. Next, I want you to work through this problem all by yourself. When you're finished, you can press play and I will have the answer for you. So pause the video now. Okay, the answer for this problem is $2.86. So make sure that you have the correct answer. If you do not, you may need to rewind the video or just double check your work and double check the strategy that you chose. Okay, taking a look at the test prep problem. I want you to work through that. When you're finished, you can press play and I will have the answer for you. So pause the video now. Okay, the answer is letter A. And wrapping up the video, we have how can you use a strategy, draw a diagram to help you solve a decimal multiplication problem. You can see that drawing a diagram such as a bar model helps you organize the information in a way that you can understand the steps you need to take to solve the problem. So if you have any questions about multiplying money, please come and see me.